Hello everybody, Disciple here once again with Overwatch Curios. So the meta's changed up a little bit once again, and people are trying to figure out what exactly is the strongest thing to climb within competitive. Now of course, it definitely matters what you're strong at yourself and who your most comfortable heroes are to play, but there's definitely some heroes that can give you a pretty big advantage, especially if you want to try and carry your team pretty much by yourself and give your team the biggest possible chance to win your games. Now, there are of course plenty of ways that you can win on plenty of different heroes, but these are, right now, what I feel to be the top 5 heroes to carry yourself with in solo queue. Without any further ado, let's get started. So, first off, we've got Mercy, and I know that you guys are tired of hearing about this, and I am too, but it's just not something that I can discount. Mercy is just so incredibly strong right now, and the reason why there are so many kind of jokes and memes about people soloing their way up to top 500, only playing Mercy and essentially getting carried, is because it actually happens quite a lot. Now of course I'm not going to tell you guys to play Mercy if you suck at her, because there's almost nothing more frustrating than playing with a Mercy on your team who doesn't know how to play Mercy. What's great about playing Mercy is that it's incredibly easy to do, but it's still possible to suck at it. So of course the most important thing you have to work on is staying safe so that you can actually use your ultimate to resurrect people, and there are a couple of ways to do this during a game so you can have the biggest impact possible onto your team. Now of course you want to try and charge up your ult as quickly as you can, since being able to use it early on can really help with an early push. And the biggest thing there is going to be to try to stick on your tanks once you're up poking, instead of just sticking in the back line when they're not necessarily taking damage. Especially with the prevalence of huge diving tanks like Winston and D.Va, who pretty much constantly take damage once they're on the front line, you can really charge up your ultimate insanely quickly, as long as you're also staying safe while you're funneling some health to them. Now, once you've built up your ultimate, your number one priority is going to be not to die, and if that means completely leaving the fight and hiding in a corner because they have a Tracer or a Sombra who's been hunting you down the entire game, then just do it. There's almost nothing more useless than a Mercy who sticks on the point with her entire team just so that she can be there for a little bit of healing and then dies first because she was out in the open and exposed, instead of hiding off to the side. And if you don't feel like you could hide off to the side as a support and play it safe so that you can pull off the game-changing res, then you probably shouldn't be playing Mercy unless you're somehow a god that can stay alive all the time. Now, it definitely matters what kind of team comp your enemy team is running. If they have a lot of poke and long-range siege, then you might want to stick up with your team so that you can keep them healed and topped off before the engagement starts. But if they are going to dive on you with a Genji, Tracer, Sombra, even a Winston, then make sure that you are playing like an absolute pussy, because that's the only way you're going to be useful. But if you can do that right, Mercy can take you up an insane amount of skill rating with, ironically, not that much skill required. Now, I'm sorry to tell you guys about Mercy, but fortunately we have some more fun and interactive heroes coming up next. Now, another hero that I love to play myself, and that I believe is also a great one to carry yourself with, is D.Va at the moment. Right now, dive comps are extremely strong, and D.Va is an absolutely quintessential part of most dive comps today. D.Va has insane mobility, some really great durability as well, and defense matrix is probably the strongest basic ability in the entire game. The fact that it can negate any projectile, including many ultimates, means that you can shut down quite a number of characters simply by holding your right click, and then the rest of the time you can be such an amazing diver and disruptor, and even when you pop out of your mech, you know, baby D.Va does a surprising amount of damage. But I think that D.Va is such a great choice, and she has a great win rate at the moment, that it's really not something you can pass up. Now of course, another reason why I think you guys should pick D.Va is because she is incredibly easy to play, and the biggest difficulty with playing D.Va, besides knowing exactly when you should go aggressive and dive, is knowing how to save your defense matrix. Now if your team has shields, you typically actually want to let the shields take the brunt of the damage, like if you have a Reinhardt or a Winston, and really only use your defense matrix if it's going to be absorbing a large amount of damage. Otherwise, you want to try and keep as much of it as possible to block an enemy ultimate. And if you know that an enemy has their ult, like a soldier has Nano Visor or a Reaper has Death Blossom, then hold on to that as long as they're anywhere within range of your team, because being able to shield your team from pretty much certain guaranteed death from some of those larger ultimates means that you could come through and save your team as well as any Mercy could. In the end, saving your team from dying is just as good as bringing them back to life, as long as your opponents did use their cooldowns and ultimates to try and accomplish that. Now, D.Va and Mercy are easy enough to play, but what's a little more fun of a hero to try and bring out and carry yourself with in ranked? Well, not exactly everyone's favorite, but a really popular pick. I think that Genji is amazing for carrying yourself in solo queue because of the strength of dive comps and because of the power of supports like Mercy as well. If you can play a good Genji, you can take out key members of the enemy team without even a scratch on you, and your mobility to get onto health packs or get back into range of your Mercy or your Ana means that you can stay alive easily long enough to get your ultimate and then carve up the entire enemy team with your blade. Now, there's almost nothing more fun than whipping out your sword and having Ana boost you up, and being able to win the game off of a fight like that feels better than pretty much anything else you can do in Overwatch. Now, Genji is a difficult hero to master, but he's really not too tricky to play once you get the hang of his basic combos, especially knowing how exactly to animation cancel. His animation canceling isn't nearly as strong as it used to be since a lot of it was taken out, but there are still plenty of ways that you can speed it up, which I'd love to talk about in a future Grandmaster Genji video. But for now, just know how to priority pick your targets and know how to go in when your team needs you to distract or to isolate some of those targets the most, and you can carry your team through pretty much anything playing a good Genji. Now, another offensive hero that has been a powerhouse for a long time and is still incredibly strong, in fact, didn't get nerfed at all with this recent patch, it's Farah. Now, Farah is number 2 on our list because she is just insane at the moment. She does great DPS, and in fact, she actually doesn't do as much DPS as pretty much any other offensive hero, but the fact that she can do it from such a safe and far range, and the fact that it is in an area of effect, meaning that she can completely rip through a team in a Zarya ult, or even one that funnels into a choke, means that you can do so much more damage up front than so much other DPS. If you have a buddy who can play Mercy, or just a teammate who's trying to get carried up to Grandmaster playing Mercy as well, then get that Mercy on your ass as long as they can't heal up your tanks, and you will be absolutely untouchable unless the enemy team has a godlike soldier or McCree, and the chances are, at the level that you're playing, unless you get up into Master and Grandmaster, the enemy hit scan characters really aren't going to be that great, and you should be able to actually kill them faster than they can kill you. Now, one trick to playing Farah is to try and sneak up on the enemy Soldier 76 or McCree, because you can take them out in 2 rockets incredibly quickly, and you can kill them faster than they can kill you unless McCree manages to get off a flashbang. If you actually go on the offensive, you can kill pretty much any enemy character faster than they can kill you, as long as you get that first shot off before they even notice you, and that's one of the reasons why Farah is ridiculously powerful at the moment. Also, her ultimate is nothing to scoff at, and unless the enemy D.Va catches you out at an inopportune moment, you're going to get off a massive amount of damage with a relatively little amount of effort. Farah is such a great choice at the moment to carry yourself with, and if you learn how to master her, at least for the next foreseeable future, you won't be sorry for it. Now, number 1 for you today is something that might be kind of surprising, but it's actually a hero that has picked up so much over the last few patches, and is a hero that is in every single dive comp imaginable. I believe that right now, the number 1 character to carry yourself with in solo queue is Winston. Winston is so powerful once you know how to focus the right target, engage at the right time, and disengage before you take too much damage, unless you have your ultimate, in which case you're free to go ham. Winston is incredibly simple to play, but once you do master the slight intricacies of his strategy, he is absolutely a monster. He can take out any support very easily by himself, especially using his projected barrier to block things like on a sleep dart, and he can also bully pretty much any DPS on the enemy team besides a Reaper. Now you guys might be wondering, well, if Reaper got buffed, then isn't Winston a lot worse now? But it actually turns out that although Reaper is amazing against Winston at the moment, Reaper's pretty shit against most of the other meta heroes, especially the long-range DPS like Farah and Soldier. They absolutely stomp on Reaper, meaning that even if they pick a Reaper to counter you, the rest of your team's probably going to destroy him, and of course, you could also swap off of it if you're getting a little bit too countered. Say the enemy has a Roadhog, a Reaper, and a Diva, but if they have that comp, you should be able to win otherwise. Winston is just such a fun character to play once you really master how to get in and out of combat and be as annoying and disruptive as possible, and he can do a lot of damage up front if you land your jump and also get in your melee for the final bit of damage. One fun little tip on Winston is that you can jump up onto a slanted roof, and the damage from your leap won't actually go off until you hit the ground, but the cooldown on your leap actually does decrease when you're on the roof, meaning that you could hit someone with a potential double burst from your leap and kill them pretty quickly as long as they're near a roof and you're able to hang up there for just a little bit. Now it might not always be useful, but Miso from CLG uses this trick every once in a while and it's really cool to see. Anyway, those are right now what I feel like are the best 5 heroes to carry yourself up with in solo queue, but of course there are plenty of other good heroes as well. Now I'm curious what you guys are playing right now to carry yourselves with and how it's going out for you, but remember that I made these decisions based on the current meta, the current win rates of heroes, and from what I've seen in my own games, and from watching Grandmaster games. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love if you would subscribe for more videos in the future, and I'll see you next time. Peace.